Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. All members are present. Approval of the agenda. I will have a updated schedule of claims when we get to that point. But otherwise, is there any changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the May 20th, 2026 regular meeting. Is there any changes, corrections, or clarification needed in those minutes? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 20th meeting? Motion by Brad, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3 in favor, none against, 2 abstentions. This brings us to our public open forum. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council? Okay. State your name and address and
Good evening, my name is Deborah Schmitz. I live at 727 Birch Street South. First of all, I'd like to express my condolences to the Stone family on the loss of your mom. Secondly, the main reason I'm here is to address the weeds that are on the boulevard that were sprayed late in November. And I have pictures, if I can present them.
sure.
I was going to go out and try to pull them by hand, and after about 5 minutes, I gave up. This is all weeds. There's very little grass coming up. I spoke with somebody on Pine Street. They have a beautiful boulevard. But ours on the 700 block, especially of Birch Street, is just, it's just awful. So I'm just wondering what action will the city go after those weeds, or are they going to reseed, or what will happen?
We've had a couple other phone calls on the same situation
Okay.
for weeds. You want these pictures back? So, as far as I know, we are working with our engineer, because I think most of that got sprayed pretty late and it probably just didn't catch. So that'll be something that will be on the checklist to get redone.
I appreciate that, and I know my fellow neighbors would appreciate that too,
Right.
because we're all talking about it.
Okay,
The last thing is, and this probably isn't going to hold a grain of sand anywhere, but years and years and years ago, the city required house numbers to be put on all properties. And I know at the time when we lived in the other block of Birch Street, they even painted their numbers on the curbs at one time. If you ever
at one time they did, I remember
yeah,
that.
but that's irrelevant. But I know that I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook about packages being delivered to wrong residents and such. And I don't know why some residents have them and some don't. And I understand that if they do a re-siding or whatever, that they just don't put the numbers back up. But it's nice to go through a community and see the house numbers, especially if you're looking for a specific residence,
Yep.
that they are shown. And I would think for ambulance and fire crews, I know that you can get it on your GPS or whatever, but I would think if there's a house number
Yep.
present, it would help with a lot of issues.
We'll take a deeper look into it and see what we can do.
Putting that out there. Thank you guys for
All
listening.
right, thank you, Deb. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council? Call it third time. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council? Our public open forum is now closed. We have no public hearings. We'll move on to reports and presentations. The EDA report.
Going back to what Deb was saying, the house numbers are required by our city code, and we do send out letters when we realize that they aren't up. And so we'll pay closer attention, Public Works, Police, or us, we see one without a number, we'll make sure to get a notice out to them, so.
Okay,
Okay, as far as the EDA, they met today at noon. A couple of things on their agenda. They did accept the hospitality study, and they recommend disposition to prospective hotel developers that we've been talking to. Also, they have recommended pricing for the Authors Edition 2 lots. That's on your agenda tonight. And also, they reviewed the TIF 1-14 job requirements. That's the Savory Smokehouse out in the industrial park. So they have the one on the agenda for you tonight, which is the Authors Edition 2 pricing.
okay. Questions, comments? Okay. Park Board report?
So the park board met today at 5 o'clock. They did receive the reports from the Public Works and Campground. They do recommend that the city solicit quotes for the archery range grading project so that we can get a tighter number on that. And then also the flagpoles for the campground and the public access will be installed next week. So that's something else they learned. They did discuss the community garden ongoing prognosis. You know, they had talked about letting it go for another year and see how it works out, you know, if it's favorable or not, and then they'll make a final determination this fall on the future of that. And also they're getting some quotes for the replacement of the golf cart for the campground. But those items will be on a later agenda. And the archery range grading project is tonight on the agenda.
Okay. Any questions or concerns on that? All right, then we will move on to our action items. 7A, approve resolution 2026-42, awarding bid for senior center parking lot.
So the bids for the parking lot were opened on May 28th at 11, and you have the following results. They went all the way from $75,923 up to $141,722.30. So we had quite a wide range, and we had several bidders. We had 7 bidders, which is good for this time of the year. As you know, the senior center does have $20,000 in their budget to put toward the project, and we discussed using funding in the building improvement fund for the balance, if you so choose. The cash balance in that fund right now, after everything is paid, there's $98,682 remaining. So of that, $55,923 would be transferred to do this project if we move forward with it, and then the balance of that would be put in the debt service fund for that bond. So that is what's in front of you tonight is Resolution 2026-42, accepting that bid for the Senior Center Parking Lot Improvement Project.
Okay. Questions, concerns? Otherwise, I will look for a motion to approve the resolution 2026-42.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. Any last minute discussion, concerns? Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 5 in favor, none against. 7B, approved pricing structure, Authors Edition Phase 2.
So now that all the costs have been finalized for this project and the bid has been awarded, the EDA met today and they discussed the pricing structure for the Authors Phase 2 lots. The pricing that they are recommending is a total price of $58,500. That's a combination of the lot and the assessments. So, and it's the same price for every lot because they're all very similar in size. Like in the last plat, we had some smaller ones and some bigger ones, so we varied the prices, but this is just all in the same price for every lot of $58,500. And so that is their recommendation to the city council to approve that pricing structure.
Okay, questions, comments?
And that covers all the costs if they're all sold for the entire project?
Yep. It would cover it.
Any other questions, concerns? If not, do I have a motion to approve the pricing structure?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Scott. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries 4 in favor, none against, 1 abstention. 7C, approve resolution 2026-43, soliciting quotes for grading for archery range.
As you know, that they would continue to work through that archery range project. We got estimates for the grading and site prep, the parking lot gravel and grading, the parking lot posts, bollards, covers and chain, target stands, hanging hardware, concrete, bow holders, signposts, and outdoor range bags. So the next step would be to solicit quotes for the grading and the site prep portion of it. Following that site prep, staff and volunteers would do the balance of the installation. So the park board met today prior to this meeting, and they are recommending that the city solicit official quotes for the site prep and grading. And we got budget numbers. Now this would be actual official quotes, so we lock in a number if we choose to move forward. That's resolution 2026-43.
Okay, questions,
Are we,
concerns?
are we gonna get a total price for this whole project when you get everything pulled together, or?
Right, we will. We have most of the numbers all together. The grading and the site prep is something that rises to the official quote process. The other ones are smaller items that we're receiving donations for.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2026-43?
So move.
Motion by Brad, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Last minute discussion. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approve grant writing services for AFG grant, Fire Department.
So Chief Bromenschenkel is requesting approval to contract with WSN for grant writing services when applying for the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. The use of the funds, if awarded, would be the purchase of replacement radios for the department. They did assist us with a grant application in 2018. We were successful in securing the grant for the air packs. The cost is $1,500. It'd be paid for by fire department funds. So what we're looking is to approve the grant writing service agreement with WSN.
Is it 1,500?
It's $1,500, yeah.
Oh, not 12? Because it's 12 on our sheet.
It's 12 on the staff report. It's $1,500 on the contract.
Okay.
It was $1,200 last time.
Wasn't sure which one it was. So. Okay. Any questions or concerns?
Have we used them at all for fire department grant writing before?
For the AFG grant, they have used services for WSN for the smaller grants, so they've done in-house.
Okay. Any
This
other
one
comments?
has a lot more complicated types of fires and data that needs to be pulled together.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve the grant writing services?
So moved.
Motion by Heidi. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brad. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries 3 in favor, none against, 2 abstentions. 7E, approve amendment to special assessment policy.
So we, as you know, the policy committee discussed the special assessment policy update as it relates to the sidewalks when they're in reconstruction project. This is the amendment that would actually go into the policy. On the concrete sidewalks, the first part says new construction is assessed 100% of the abutting property owners, which is the developer, because he owns the whole thing at that time. And that if the city determines to establish new sidewalks within existing developments, which are not part of a reconstruction, that's also the city. Repair would stay the same, which the public works director or supervisor would inspect and tell people they need to repair sidewalks. But then there's the added replacement. If they're part of a reconstruction project, they'll be assessed at the same rate as the street assessment, which at this time is 35%. So that's the piece right there that changes, is when we replace and reconstruct, it goes from 100 to 35. And I just left it, instead of putting the number in there, saying it's the same as the street, so if we change the street, this changes right along with it. So we're looking to approve that amendment to the special assessment policy.
Okay, questions, concerns? Otherwise, do I have a motion to approve the amendment to special assessment?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Scott, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Heidi will second it. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, 5 in favor, none against. Unfinished business, building improvement project update.
So the 2025 building improvement project, the only thing left outstanding within that project is the completion of the wall caps and then the gutters, downspouts on the senior center. Once that's done, we can close out that fund. I mean, obviously, we transfer money out for the senior center parking lot, that'll come out of there as well. And then that fund will be closed. And so at the end of the year, you know, we close a variety of funds. We're gonna try to do is close them earlier in the year as we're able, because then that helps with the interest allocation for the balance of the funds for the rest of the year, so, rather than waiting all till the end. So that's just information only at this time.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, hearing nothing. We have no new business. We will now move on to consent agenda. We have schedule of claims of a total of $54,692.47. And we have numerous donations that were made toward street lighting bracket, senior center, and especially the flower baskets. I would, on behalf of the city and the, as a whole, I want to thank those people for their contributions. I will not read that whole list. So, with that, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Sorry, motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Joe. Any other discussion? Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries, 5 in favor, none against. We have no informational items. Brings us to the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Brad, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Scott. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, 5 in favor, none against, meeting adjourned.